Hello everybody, Relle here, and this week we'll be exploring Echo, the very first release from the new indie developer on the scene, Ultra Ultra. Without a back category of titles, is their game worth your money? Let's find out. Echo takes place in a far future where mankind is scattered to the stars. You begin the game with the main character N, voiced by Leslie Rose of Game of Thrones fame. She wakes up after a century-long stasis sleep in orbit around a world rumored to hold a legendary planet-wide palace. She's there to resurrect a friend of hers who had died before her stasis sleep, and of course, things don't go quite as planned. The meat of the gameplay has you going up against clones of yourself known as Echoes, who bring an interesting mechanic to the table. The actions you take are recorded by the palace while the lights are on, and after the palace reboots, the Echoes all know how to do the things you used against them. Shoot an Echo, and during the next cycle they can shoot back. Use stealth takedowns, and they'll start sneaking around. Even simple actions such as opening doors and using elevators get recorded and used against you. However, this can act in your favor. The Echoes only remember what you did in the previous cycle, so if you can make your way through an area without opening doors, the Echoes can't open doors when the new cycle begins. Each new cycle is preceded by the lights going out, during which time any actions you take aren't recorded. So if you've been sneaking around and want to start shooting, the Echoes won't be able to use guns when the palace reboots. Your overarching objective in the game is to escape the palace, which takes the form of collecting orbs to activate an elevator, grabbing a key that may be guarded, or even just getting from point A to point B without getting killed. It's simple on paper, but in practice it can get hectic. Although the game is billed as a stealth action adventure, it feels more like a survival horror with the kind of tension it creates. Even getting near an enemy creates a low thumping from the soundtrack to keep you alert. You can't simply stealth your way through the entire game like you might in Deus Ex. You have to adjust your tactics constantly and always keep in mind that whatever you do now, your enemies can use against you later. Speaking of Deus Ex, Echo uses a similar mechanic which requires you to manage your suit energy. It's a careful balancing act because the same suit energy that highlights enemies in the world also powers your gun, and it takes long enough to recharge that you can't simply blast your way through the game. It becomes a juggling act of resource management and planning your actions so as not to give the enemy the abilities necessary to kill you. Probably the biggest flaw in Echo is the fact that it takes a while to get to the actual gameplay. Between when you start the game and when you first have to deal with the Echoes, you'll spend 45 minutes exploring the palace and getting exposition on N and her backstory. While this is interesting and Leslie Rose does an excellent job voicing N, you're still spending nearly an hour before playing the actual game. Considering the game has interim areas between palace sections where they deliver more exposition, this front-loading could have been handled better. Echo's other flaw might be its length. Like Portal, it's a short but sweet game, maybe 6 or 7 hours from beginning to end. There are collectibles to be found and you can revisit past areas to get everything, but considering the price point, it might not be enough game for some. Echo is currently available on Steam and PlayStation 4 for $25 American. If you're looking for a stealth action game offering a unique experience, give Echo a try. If you think the length doesn't justify the price point, it's worth buying on sale for sure. The gameplay is solid, the world interesting, and the setting unique, and I look forward to seeing if the developers expand on the universe they've created with their next game. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this review, hit that like button and share it on your favorite social media. Subscribe to see more reviews like this in the future, and I will see you next time.